Oh, you never gave me the phone number.
Welcome back to Civil Discourse Now. I'm Mark Small.
And I'm Paul Lockett.
Our guest is Tammy Moon. We're discussing bullying. Tammy, your organization is?
Bully Prevention Alliance?
And that's a not-for-profit here in Indiana?
Yes.
And where can we find that on the web?
www.bpndinc.org.
And if they were trying to reach you, do you have an email address? Or?
You can call 317-721-8201, or they can send an email to info@bpndinc.org.
We're coming to you today from 1001. It's a restaurant bar in Broad Ripple. It's located right on Broad Ripple Avenue. In fact, the address is 1001 Broad Ripple Avenue.
That's very nice facility here, Mark. I've never been in here.
Excellent facility, very courteous people letting us use their facilities. It's a local business. Local businesses are really important. I blogged on that this week because we've gotten flack from somebody. A lot of our shows have been done at Big Hat Books, which is located on Cornell Avenue, 6510 Cornell Avenue. But we try to go to local businesses and podcast the show from there to give a boost to people and let them know that they've got like small merchants that are doing things and hiring people, and you need to give them your support. We've podcast from Broad Ripple Tavern, the Red Lion, which is on Fountain Square, and we're talking about bullying today, and we have calling in Kirk Smalley from Oklahoma. Kirk, are you there?
I am.
This is Mark Small, Kirk.
And Kirk, my name is Paul Lockett, and I'm also co-host.
And this is Tammy.
Hi, Tammy. Hi, Mark. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Kirk. Could you can you speak up just a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. Your son was victimized by bullies in his school. Is that correct?
That is correct. He was victim for almost 2 years. His mother worked at the school that he went to and complained almost daily.
Okay. And she complained almost daily, and she was actually an employee of the school.
That's correct.
One moment, please, Kirk. I'm going to add you in so we can make the volume better, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to do a test. Can you hear me well? Go ahead and talk, Kirk.
Yeah, Laura worked at the school that I went to. She was in the office for calling in almost daily.
And the school would do nothing in response?
We got the physical answers. Boys will be boys, kids will be kids. It's just a childhood message everybody has to go through.
And then your son defended himself, is that correct?
On May 13th, 2010, he was working in the gym with one of his best friends, waiting on class to start. And the kids had been picking on him, came up and started picking on him again. And I retaliated. Moving on. As is the case, the second kid, the one that always gets caught, it's what he supports. The person that retaliated, fighting back is the one that disturbance draws the teacher, the referee's eye, and they look over and they see that second guy take the swing. And that's what happened to Ty. He finally stood up for himself and pushed the kid back, but he came up and started pushing on homework and do his chores. I told him we'd talk about it when we got home. And Laura came home at 2:38 p.m. on May 13th. She found out that he didn't do his homework, didn't do his chores. Instead, he had killed himself on our bedroom floor.
What happened to the kid or kids that had been the bullies?
The bully, the main ringleader of the group, he got suspended for 3 days also. Ty killed himself on a Thursday. School was officially out on Friday for a teachers' conference thing, and they let the little boy that the bully come back on Monday, so he didn't serve any of his suspension. That first day that he came back, the little boy came up to one of Ty's friends, that was a girl in the hallway, and told her that she was the reason Ty killed himself, and she went home and tried to take her own life. But her parents found her in time and got her help. On the first day of school, the following school year, the same little bully walked up to my son's best friend and said, "I took care of one of you, now let me see what I can do about you." So basically, nothing happened to him. The school's still in denial. They don't admit that they have a bullying problem. If you've seen the film Bully, portions of Ty's service are in there, and you can also see that Ty's school superintendent, Jim Ramsey, goes on the news the day after Ty died and made the statement that he had done a full and complete investigation into Ty's death and that he could find no evidence that bullying was a factor. And to this day, 735 days later, we still haven't been asked by the school or Mr. Ramsey why we felt bullying was a factor. Neither have any of Ty's best friends. We're in constant contact with them still, and none of them have been contacted and asked about anything. Now, I don't know how you do a full and complete investigation into something of the magnitude of a child's suicide without talking to people who do their best. They're in denial.
So, Kurt, you're saying that there was an investigation, but you weren't contacted about it?
That's correct.
It's not much of an investigation.
The investigation happened the day, he actually went on the news channel the day after Ty died on Friday and made that statement. Now, I don't know how in the world he did an investigation when we found Ty at 2:38 in the afternoon, and no one really knew about it until the following morning. And he was already on the, as far as the general public, he was already on the news channels at that point, just almost immediately. You don't do an investigation that quick. I'm sorry.
I have a question, and it might sound off the wall, but the reason I'm asking is because I found that in some of the cases that I have, there is a whole bunch of kids that seem to have the common denominator of an individual education plan. And I know you and I talked last evening, and you said that you're not really finding that all that much. Did any of the kids that had been doing this to Ty have special needs or were special needs students?
Did any of the bullies themselves?
Yeah.
No. None of them were special needs students.
Kirk, this is Mark. One thing the question I have is, what would you suggest be done? I guess twofold. One would be in terms of what parents can do to be aware if their kids are being bullied or if their kids are bullies. And the second thing is, what should we do as a society, maybe in terms of statutes or trying to get some kind of influence on school officials to be more alert to this problem?
Well, as a society, we've got to come up with some new legislation. We have to give the schools the backing that they need to be able to deal with bullying. And, if I walk up to you on the street and I slap you upside your head, that's assault, and I can go to jail for that. But yet it happens in our school hallways every single day, and it's just called boys will be boys, So we have to give the schools some backing on the legislative end to be able to let them punish these bullies in a manner and help stop it. At the same time, as parents, we've got to learn to communicate with our kids. We do a lot of evening presentations with the group Stand for the Silent that we have founded, and we talk to parents and community members, and I always ask them, how many of you talk to your kids and ask them when they come home from school, how was your day today? And boy, the hands just go up. And then I'll ask them, and what is their answer? Usually 9 times out of 10, what is their answer? And every single one of them will say, oh, they say it was okay or fine. And then I say, and then what? And they say, well,
Hey, Kirk, one of the things that has been been asked by several people in regards to the movie that's now out, and is that while it shows the examples, it doesn't necessarily show answers. And then the other part is, some people, believe it or not, some of the superintendents here in Indianapolis have actually, one specifically, has actually stated that she believes it's a movie more for churches, not for schools. How would you, in a very short 2 minutes, be able to summarize what you think that they need to do and what schools need to do in the situation in this movie?
I think that the movie should be shown in schools, personally. First and foremost, it starts a dialogue. It brings awareness to how things really are in our schools and in our buses and in our hallways now. Bullying's changed over a period of time. It's not the same as what it was when we were kids. And most of these legislators and a lot of the school administrators are older people. They don't realize what these kids are facing. They don't see what they go through on a daily basis. The internet, social media. We've been to schools that first and second graders have smartphones, and they don't realize what bullying has become in our society and in our school hallways and buses anymore. And it's a very important thing that they would allow these kids, and not only the kids, but the teachers and the administrators, to be able to see what it has become and what some of these school administrators, if you've watched the film, what their answer and their lack of knowledge in it is. It needs to be there.
Kurt, thanks very much for your time today. We appreciate your being a guest on this program. Thanks very much, and we will. We definitely appreciate what I understand what you've gone through. It's a grievous loss, but thank you very much for being on the show. We appreciate it, and for the words of advice that you've given to the public.
Thanks for having me.
And I will talk with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Tammy, when is this movie going to be shown?
The movie is actually being shown already. It started at the end of it started on March 17th in 3 theaters here in Indianapolis. It is now being shown in 1 theater at the AAMC Showplace in East Washington Square Mall. There are times you can check on those.
And we got to get to the end of this segment.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.